1. NASA funding cuts threaten Vermont research, a call to action. 2. NASA's budget battle, ex-NASA chiefs condemn Trump's cuts. 3. Trump's NASA budget, ceding the solar system to China. 4. The future of NASA, navigating dark times. 1. NASA funding cuts threaten Vermont research, a call to action. Imagine a world where our understanding of the planet is severely hindered, where predicting floods, managing roadway conditions, and estimating avalanche risks become even more challenging. This is the stark reality we are facing with the proposed NASA funding cuts, which threaten to dismantle the very program that has been instrumental in advancing our knowledge of Earth systems. As the Director of Research at the University of Vermont's Water Resources Institute, I'm sounding the alarm on the devastating impact these cuts will have on Vermont-based research and the broader scientific community. A few years ago, I reached out to VT Digger to share an exciting research project that relied on the contributions of citizen scientists in Vermont. The response was overwhelming, with nearly 300 new volunteers signing up to help NASA better track and simulate precipitation type during winter storms in mountain regions across the U.S. But here's where it gets controversial. The administration's proposed budget cuts aim to shatter the NASA Citizen Science for Earth Systems program, the very initiative that funded our work. This program has been a game-changer, enabling scientists to tap into the power of citizen observers to collect invaluable data on Earth systems. NASA's Earth observation mandate is often overlooked, but it's crucial for monitoring essential properties like rainfall, soil wetness, and land surface temperature. The agency's satellites provide a wealth of information, but they're only as good as the data they're fed. That's where programs like Citizen Science for Earth Systems come in. They provide the critical human observations that help evaluate and improve the process of data collection, simulation, and synthesis. Our project, Mountain Rain, or Snow, is a prime example of the impact citizen science can have. By leveraging the power of human observers, we've been able to improve the accuracy of precipitation forecasts, which is essential for predicting floods, managing roadway conditions, and estimating avalanche risks. But this is not just about our project. The proposed funding cuts put numerous other initiatives at risk, including those focused on river ice dynamics, water quality, and lake levels. The scientific community is at a loss, wondering how we can continue to advance our understanding of the planet without these critical programs. And this is the part most people miss, the fact that there's no replacement for human observers. Not even artificial intelligence can replicate the accuracy and nuance of human observations. We're at the precipice of losing this ability to understand our planet, and it's nothing short of catastrophic. So, what can you do? Don't think of this as a eulogy for U.S. scientific research. Instead, treat it as a call to action. Reach out to your friends, colleagues, and representatives, and make your opinions known. Protest the unnecessary kneecapping of US-funded research and demand continued American scientific excellence. The truth exists whether we study it or not, but it's more important now than ever to research and understand our rapidly changing planet. As we move forward, we must ask ourselves, what's the true cost of these funding cuts, and are we willing to pay the price? We invite you to share your thoughts and opinions on this critical issue. Do you think the proposed funding cuts are justified, or do you believe they'll have a devastating impact on our understanding of the planet? 2. NASA's budget battle, ex-NASA chiefs condemn Trump's cuts. A major shift in space funding, former NASA leaders criticize Trump's proposed budget cuts. The U.S. Congress has recently approved a budget bill put forth by President Donald Trump, which could lead to significant changes for NASA, including the potential relocation of a space shuttle. While the Space Launch System, SLS, has seen the restoration of 2 missions, Artemis 4 and 5, and the Gateway Lunar Space Station has been reinstated in the plans, NASA's science programs are facing drastic reductions, with funding expected to be cut by half. This budget, which Trump has dubbed the One Big Beautiful Bill, is part of a broader budget reconciliation package from his administration. It encompasses transformative legislation aimed at enhancing critical infrastructure and providing tax relief. However, the implications for NASA are severe, as the bill threatens to significantly limit the financial resources available to the agency. The Planetary Society has described this budget as an extinction-level event for NASA's scientific endeavors. In a powerful statement released this week, every living former head of NASA's Science Mission Directorate, SMD, the agency's leading science position, has condemned the proposed 47% cut to the budget. This collective outcry underscores the gravity of the situation and the potential long-term consequences for space exploration and scientific research. In a nostalgic moment, former NASA Deputy Administrator Lori Garver shared a selfie with science educator Bill Nye at a 2012 Planetary Society event, Planet Fest, which celebrated the landing of Curiosity on Mars. Garver has also voiced her concerns regarding the proposed budget cuts, stating, "If this is the priority for our tax dollars, we are doomed." She pointed out that relocating the Space Shuttle would necessitate dismantling the orbiter, a process that could lead to irreversible damage. Adding to the conversation, former Space Shuttle program manager Wayne Hale reminded us of his earlier suspicions regarding why Houston did not receive a shuttle. He noted that while the shuttle was primarily designed and managed in that region, there seems to be a prevailing attitude in Houston and Texas that they are entitled to NASA and the Johnson Space Center, JSC, simply because of their identity. Not true. Anything worthwhile is worth fighting for, he asserted, emphasizing the need for advocacy and effort in securing valuable resources. Reports from NASA watchers Keith Cowing indicate that changes are already underway within NASA, with mission terminations being planned. Cowing noted, NASA is acting as if the FY 2026 request is the de facto operating plan going forth, suggesting that numerous mission teams are hurriedly preparing shutdown plans to facilitate a swift transition to reduced operations. While NASA has not confirmed these reports, a spokesperson stated, "We are aware of the provisions included in the One Big Beautiful Bill relating to NASA. The agency will put all enacted funding to good use and continue to work diligently to execute the President's vision for the future of space as we usher in the golden age of human space exploration and innovation." This situation raises important questions about the future of NASA and the priorities of our government. Are we truly prepared to sacrifice scientific advancement for other initiatives? What do you think about the proposed budget cuts? Join the conversation and share your thoughts in the comments. 3. Trump's NASA budget, ceding the solar system to China. Could the United States be handing over the keys to the solar system to China? This alarming possibility has scientists and space enthusiasts alike sounding the alarm, as President Donald Trump's proposed NASA budget for fiscal year 2026 threatens to drastically slash funding for critical science missions. But here's where it gets controversial. While the administration argues that these cuts are necessary for fiscal responsibility, critics warn that they could undermine America's leadership in space exploration and innovation, leaving a vacuum that China is all too eager to fill. Consider the Mars Odyssey, a stalwart spacecraft that has been orbiting the red planet since 2001, completing over 100,000 laps, a record unmatched by any other mission to a distant planet. Despite its age-related challenges, like dwindling thruster fuel, Odyssey remains a workhorse, transmitting invaluable data and images of Mars back to Earth. It even doubles as a communication relay for NASA's Mars rovers. Yet, this veteran explorer is now on the chopping block, one of many missions targeted for termination or severe cuts in Trump's budget proposal. The administration's rationale is straightforward. NASA, they argue, has too many science missions. Trump's budget would nearly halve NASA's $7.33 billion science budget, reducing it to $3.9 billion. A leaner, more focused science program, the proposal states, reflects the administration's commitment to fiscal responsibility. But here's the part most people miss. While the Hubble and Webb telescopes would retain funding, albeit with cuts, NASA's astrophysics division would lose 2/3 of its budget, effectively gutting it. "We're basically removing the wonder and awe from our portfolio," lamented John Grunsfeld, a former NASA science chief and astronaut. The fallout is already evident. NASA is experiencing a brain drain, with hundreds of employees opting for early retirement or buyouts. In February, 900 staffers, 5% of the workforce, left, and another 1,500 signed up for a voluntary separation program by late June. Meanwhile, the space science community is rallying in protest, with contractors and staffers demonstrating outside NASA headquarters with signs reading "Save NASA." And this is where it gets even more contentious. 7 former NASA associate administrators of the Science Mission Directorate have penned a letter to Congress, warning that these cuts would cede ground to China in the race for solar system dominance. If the US is committed to countering China's growing space capabilities, they wrote, it must continue investing in space science, not unilaterally retreat. China's space program, they noted, is aggressive, ambitious, and well-funded. Trump's budget prioritizes human spaceflight, particularly the Artemis program, which aims to return astronauts to the moon by 2028, a timeline many experts deem unrealistic due to technical challenges. SpaceX's Starship, intended as the lunar lander, has yet to prove its reliability, and Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos's space company, is also developing a competing lander. Yet, even as NASA pushes for the moon, its broader science portfolio is being gutted. The proposed cuts would disproportionately impact NASA centers in blue states, like the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California and the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. JPL, which has received over $2.2 billion annually, would see its funding slashed to $890 million, while Goddard could lose nearly half its workforce. According to the Planetary Society, NASA's science budget would be the smallest since 1984. Here's a thought-provoking question: is it wise to sacrifice long-term scientific discovery and innovation for short-term fiscal gains? Missions like Odyssey, Maven, and Juno have not only deepened our understanding of Mars and Jupiter but also laid the groundwork for future human exploration. Canceling them, critics argue, would be a step backward, both scientifically and strategically. As NASA's future hangs in the balance, awaiting congressional decisions, one thing is clear: the choices made today will shape not just America's role in space but also its global standing. Will the US maintain its leadership, or will it step aside, allowing China to take the reins? The debate is far from over, and your voice matters. What do you think? Is this the right path for NASA, or are we risking too much? 4. The future of NASA, navigating dark times. Here's the harsh truth: NASA's best days are ahead, but survival comes at a cost. Imagine holding your breath while watching history unfold. For NASA's workforce, that's the current reality. A recent Supreme Court ruling has opened floodgates for sweeping staffing changes across federal agencies, including NASA, emboldening the administration's controversial cost-cutting agenda. What was already a rocky path just got steeper. Let's break down why this matters. The ruling effectively removes legal barriers to large-scale staff reductions, accelerating plans outlined in the FY 2026 budget proposal. For NASA employees, this means limited avenues to challenge layoffs or reassignments. Contractors and external researchers, often the backbone of projects like advanced propulsion systems or planetary exploration, now face even greater instability. But here's the twist: every storm has a calm center. For those who weather this turbulent period, the post-crisis rebuilding phase could become an unexpected opportunity to shape NASA's future. The clock ticks, July 25th buyout deadline looms. With a July 25 buyout deadline fast approaching, NASA employees must make high-stakes decisions. Opting for voluntary separation might seem like a safe choice, but staying means rolling the dice, hoping to avoid layoffs or reshuffling to new roles. Contractor teams and external researchers, already vulnerable, stand to bear the brunt of these cuts. The power shift at NASA HQ. As the administration installs ideologically aligned leadership at NASA HQ, many are questioning whether these new appointees prioritize scientific excellence or political loyalty. Center directors and program managers could soon face sudden exits, leaving behind a void that reshapes mission priorities. Reduction in force, RIF, procedures, which allow agencies to downsize without typical due process, leave employees with limited recourse. Why this hurts, and how it could heal. The pain here is personal. I once lost a dream role at NASA during a similar shakeup, and the memories of that chaos still feel raw. Yet, amidst this upheaval, a paradox emerges: the most gifted, driven, and innovative teams often thrive in adversity. History shows that NASA's greatest achievements emerge from crises, not comfort zones. The reinvention to come. Once the dust settles, survivors will inherit the responsibility of rebuilding. Contract researchers and ex-employees, now scattered across academia and private space ventures, will carry payloads of institutional knowledge. Will this diaspora weaken NASA or create a decentralized network of cosmic problem solvers? That's the million-dollar question. Your next move, and beyond. Right now, the choices feel slim: take the buyout, risk layoff, or endure uncertain restructuring. But let's zoom out. Outside NASA's gates, a universe of challenges and opportunities awaits. Every mission specialist, engineer, and data analyst now has a chance to redefine what it means to lead in space. Might this reset ultimately spark a more resilient, creative NASA? The bigger picture. The administration's approach has sparked fierce debate. Is this belt-tightening necessary fiscal responsibility, or a strategic dismantle of America's space leadership? For those leaving, the question becomes: will the skills and passion you brought to NASA continue to influence the cosmos from new platforms? The answer? Absolutely. At Astra, to all who keep reaching for the stars, no matter where life takes you. Sparkles. What do you think? Join the conversation. Are these cuts a justified course correction or a reckless gamble with America's space legacy? Should NASA focus on immediate budget savings or long-term innovation? Share your views. Agreement, disagreements, and unconventional insights are all welcome in the comments below.